It's Friday, November 22nd, 2019, and I'm Dave Sobel. 3 things to know today. Banking and tech, will the Fed get involved? Connectivity by balloon? And updates on political advertising. This is the business of tech. Banking and tech again in the news as PayPal buys Honey Science, commonly known for the Honey browser plugin, for $4 billion. Also earlier this week, Microsoft and Westpac announced a partnership to allow the bank to focus on more personalized services for its customers leveraging machine learning and artificial intelligence. Their data-driven experience platform is built on Microsoft Azure. The bank also announced its shift to Office 365. At the same time, the Federal Reserve is looking at ways to add additional supervision to technology firms that serve the banking industry. The central bank is looking at examining compliance programs and governance structures at tech firms that provide data storage and services to the financial industry. Why do we care? Tech companies clearly have an interest in banking, with Google previously expressing interest in offering checking accounts and Facebook backing their cryptocurrency Libra. Microsoft's interest appears to so far be simply in supporting banking organizations, keeping them out of that particular fray. This is another big win for Microsoft on their cloud platform front and shows business interest in their cloud platforms as a whole. While banks are responsible for the risks with their vendors, the Fed looking into additional regulation for tech companies cannot be surprising. This week, Alphabet subsidiary Loon inked a deal to bring solar-powered, balloon-based connectivity to remote parts of the Amazon rainforest. The deal will make the internet available to about 200,000 people in the Loreto region of Peru, around 75% of whom currently don't have access to connectivity of 3G quality or higher. In the past few years, Loon has used natural disasters to test its balloon ability. Loon connected tens of thousands of Peruvians impacted by flooding in 2017, and that same year parked balloons over Puerto Rico for months after Hurricane Maria. Most recently, Loon swooped in after an 8.0 earthquake damaged infrastructure in Peru. While on the topic of connectivity, protests in Iran last week led the government to shut down the internet and other telecommunication services within that country. The outage lasted 5 days into this week, and services have just been restored. Why do we care? Connectivity is as near to a required utility as one can be without being declared a utility, and with the 5G rollout looming, it's easy to forget how much connectivity is still required globally. Facebook tried and failed an approach using drones, and now instead partners with telecoms to offer services, but is experimenting with an internet streaming satellite service. SpaceX's Starlink satellite network is another player in this space. To see the power of the internet as pure communications utility, look no further than authoritarian governments attempting to control it. Myanmar, China, India, Zimbabwe, and Venezuela are all countries that have shut down the internet. Russia has passed a law that requires a sovereign internet, allowing it to operate independent from global connectivity if required. The concept of 2 internets has arisen several times this week, one under authoritarian governments and one under democratic ones. This story gets picked up next. Updating on the status of political advertising, Google has announced limits to micro-targeting for paid political ads. On Wednesday, the company announced it will limit the options for micro-targeting to postal code, age, and gender, and this applies to paid ads, including video ads on YouTube, display ads through Google's ad network, and ads as search results. It's been reported that Facebook is considering limiting micro-targeting since the backlash it has experienced, but has announced no changes, while Twitter has opted to ban political ads entirely. Snapchat announced this week they will be fact-checking all political advertising. In related privacy news, U.S. lawmakers have expressed concern that Facebook may have misled the public over its claims that they have control over location data sharing. 2 senators have begun an inquiry, and Facebook has until December 12th to respond. Why do we care? Big tech continues to set a confusing tone for data management, and more than anything, this is going to be the public perception. That's important to remember for context. Each company is taking a different approach here. This shows how the lack of clear definitions by society of the expectations of tech company is to blame. We do have rules on political advertising and other media. Does it apply here? No answer is an answer, and that's what we're seeing played out. Today's episode was brought to you by the Killing It podcast. Episode 34 is out with a dive into the 4-day workweek study from Microsoft. thinking about work experience before becoming an entrepreneur, and should small IT providers be paying attention to smart cities? 3 hosts, 3 topics, and 1 focus on making money in IT. Catch the show on your favorite podcatcher with links at mspradio.com. Thanks for listening to The Business of Tech. Busy week this week, but next should be more quiet with the holiday in the US. The Business of Tech will be off on Thursday for the holiday. If you like the show, share it online and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for video updates. Have a great weekend and see you on Monday.